Oh. And there's David.
Hi.
David, are you here?
Hello? Oh, there he is.
Oh.
Hi.
Well, everything went quiet for me. Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, you guys.
Yeah, we can.
You guys are super quiet right
Fix your headset then, or whatever you're using.
I tried saying hello.
now. Okay. No, I can hear Calvin, but Brielle and David are just coming in super quietly for me.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Poop.
David, I gotta ask you a serious question. Do you know the definition of the word twink?
No.
Okay, so I now have confirmation that the previous messages made 0 sense to David.
What?
Look back at the chat log.
Okay. About the whole thing about speaking and reading being hard or easy?
No, about Naegi and the other chick.
Oh. Okay, first of all, I'll check out the name. Kyoko, thank you very much.
Well, I forgot who was repping who.
Yoko?
Because
Anyway, twink. I assume there's another word for saying like a wimp or something.
No.
Yeah, wimp, fanboy, something on those lines.
That's a lie. You're lying to him.
Then what's a twink?
Oh god. Brielle and I know, but we don't want to tell you.
Colin, do you know?
More or less. Although, I would have said that a wimp is not wrong.
But it's also not right.
It's part of it.
Look, if it's an insult toward my man Makoto, I will be upset.
Oh, it's definitely an insult.
Oh yeah.
It is definitely.
Hands will be thrown. Hands will be thrown. Bria can't touch because I'm not gonna donate to Calvin. But Miguel, you are dead.
What? But I'm a bit. Anyways, to give you the most safe for work definition, it's a slender gay man, but it's technically incorrect. A younger, good-looking gay man with a smooth physique. While many modifying attributes can be applied to the group, the term is generally used to denote them. The meaning of twink is wink, twinkle, love words must be over. That's the actual definition, not the slang.
Okay.
It's a derogatory term. I don't think Naegi is gay, but he doesn't exactly act with vigor, if you guys know what I mean.
Technically, we don't have any confirmed sexuality of anyone, and
then assume they're straight.
Well, yeah, people can be, but not that. People can keep saying like bi or something.
I have no idea what you said.
People assume most people assume that everyone is at least bi.
So are we gonna start this or not?
Okay,
we kind of showed up early, so I didn't know.
Before we start, one thing I want to bring up, Calvin.
Yes?
Last time we were talking about how you guys had a debate about who the killer was, chapter 1. Who else could it be? He was obviously Patricia. She was the killer in the first chapter. Who else would it be?
Oh, and one more thing, David. I was messing with you last night. The Umi and Echo fighting game is not canon.
Wait, what?
No, George does not have magic powers.
Who else would it be? It was obviously Beatrice. Okay, I will say this much. Never assume that the obvious answer is necessarily the correct one.
Occam's razor begs to differ, Calvin.
Pardon?
Occam's razor, the simplest answer is usually correct.
That was the easiest to make information.
In real life, not in stories.
I'm very much aware. I'm partially messing with you.
So, you're saying it's not basically, I don't believe that.
The most obvious answer is probably right, but in stories, the most obvious answer is probably wrong.
Okay, but real talk though, why was our first order of operations to talk about twinks?
Oh, you brought it up. You're the one who asked it.
No. Technically, Brielle brought it up earlier.
But yeah, but you're the one who brought it back up.
Well, because I was so curious if you actually knew the meaning of the word.
He doesn't even know what says.
What?
Like, a part of me feels like I should defend Miguel, but then Brielle will get in trouble, so death to Miguel.
What? Okay, fine. Brielle is your girlfriend. That's totally acceptable. You know, honestly, if you had to pick between me or her, just take her.
Oh, I intend to.
What?
That came out during your time.
Well, I would hope so, because personally, I'm not into that.
No way.
We're not gonna tell you, Brielle. You're too young for this.
What?
Oh, jeez.
He wishes.
No, we don't. We kind of don't want to go to jail for you.
I am perfectly content to be with a very not lolly girlfriend.
Can you please phrase that better? That doesn't make you look good.
I like the attitude.
I am very content to not be going to jail, thank you.
Oh, okay, that makes sense to me.
But you want to take it.
Well, there's a difference between
You're gonna rape me?
and a lolly.
Pardon?
Nothing, I said something really messed up.
When do you never?
Actually, just do me a favor. Let's not say any racist things today. Let's not say anything derogatory.
For the record, that's usually you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not me.
You guys are real. Don't lie to me. Okay, who's the narrator in this one? Is it Calvin?
That'll be me.
Okay.
That'll be me. I'm the narrator here. I was just waiting for everyone to calm down. Okay. Yeah. One moment.
Off to a great start.
Off to an amazing start. This is a
Yes, I know. I'm still getting the giggles out of my mouth.
Ew.
What are you talking about?
What does giggles in your mouth mean?
They had eaten breakfast at a coffee shop in the station building. By chance, the inside of the shop had been decorated with Halloween colors, since it was October. Maria had seemed to be awfully pleased with that. For quite some time, she talked loudly inside the train about wanting to have a Halloween festival, without caring that she was attracting the attention of others. Halloween is popular in Europe and America, but people aren't that familiar with it in Japan. The shopping district was colorfully decorated with orange pumpkins, but the costume parades of children demanding sweets and saying trick or treat were nowhere in sight.
Wait, that's not me anymore.
Ew! I want a Halloween festival! I don't want to wear these clothes! I want to look like a witch! Ew! The family conference isn't for playing. We're going to meet grandfather, so you have to dress up nice.
While it wasn't completely full inside the train, it was really packed, with almost all the seats occupied by passengers. Maria was making a fuss among them, stomping her feet on the seat, while Rosa scowled at her. Rosa had warned her many times to lower her voice, but Maria hadn't obeyed at all. Once Maria got like this, no matter how much you tried to explain the situation or calm her, she wouldn't listen. Before, Rosa used to pamper Maria and give in to her at times like this. But that had probably been a mistake. Surely Maria had gained the mistaken impression that throwing a tantrum long enough would make her mother give up and do what Maria said. Rosa had realized that error with the help of an educational book, and since then, she'd hardened the part of her heart that wanted to pamper her beloved daughter. Her mutual understanding with Maria began to grow weaker and weaker, and she began to get discouraged by her own powerlessness more and more often.
Halloween! Halloween! If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank! Ew! I don't have any sweets to give you. We just ate breakfast. If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank! If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank! Ew, ew, ew!
A stout old woman, who was sitting nearby as Maria stomped her feet, picked a candy out of her handbag and held it out to Maria.
I gotta sleep! I gotta sleep! Look! Mama! Happy Halloween! Hey, Maria, you can't just accept sweets from strangers, right? Give it back.
Oh, don't worry about it. She's such a spirited young lady. How old is she? Maybe there was no malice in the old woman's words. However, Rosa seemed to find that remark extremely humiliating.
Maria, haven't I always told you not to accept sweets from strangers? She gave it to me. No, it's mine. Let go of it. How many times do I have to tell you to do what Mama says? It's mine!
She sounds like Nanoni.
Don't I tell you? Don't I always tell you not to say ooh, ooh?
Rosa reflexively hit Maria violently on the cheek. In a flash, Maria started crying loudly. Rosa immediately took the candy from Maria's hand and pushed it back towards the dumbfounded old woman sitting next to them.
Please, do not just give sweets to my daughter.
I'm so sorry. Breathing heavily, Rosa once again held the candy out to the old woman. After getting flustered about what she should say for a few moments, perhaps the woman realized that her actions may have troubled this parent and child, and she accepted the candy back, apologizing. After that, Rosa finally took notice of her surroundings. Her daughter's clothes were all messed up. She was crying and shouting with her nose dripping. and there were many dumbfounded passengers watching them.
Why are her clothes messed up?
Except for the sound of the train running, the interior was completely silent. Fortunately, that pitiful silence didn't last more than a short while. However, it was followed by an even more painful atmosphere as everyone began to whisper. Maria shouted, cried, kicked, and stomped her feet as usual, paying no heed to the people sitting around her. Impulsively, Rosa tried to slap her again, but she noticed the cold eyes of the people in the train, and couldn't.
That's interesting.
When the train stopped, Rosa forcibly pulled Maria's arm and got off, almost dragging her daughter along. Maria didn't stop crying. Rosa took her to the end of the platform and hit her cheek again. At the moment she was hit, Maria stopped crying for an instant, but before long she shouted and cried even more than before. Overwhelmed with emotion, Rosa grabbed the nape of Maria's neck and dragged her, tugging at her hair.
What the fuck?
Okay, I would like to point out that in the anime, she gets slapped like 10 times back to back with no break.
Oh my god.
Mama, it hurts. Mama, it hurts. Didn't I tell you to shut up? That ooh of yours. I told you to stop. That's the reason you can't make friends in class, right? Get a hold of yourself. Why are you still a kindergartner inside your head? Why can't you do what Mama says? Why? Why?
With those severe words, Rosa hit Maria's cheek over and over again. The more Maria cried and shouted, the more Rosa hit her, and the more Maria was hit, the more intensely she cried and shouted.
Mama, it hurts. Mama, it hurts. Mama, save me. Mama, save me.
I used to say that.
What?
What?
Okay, I can't
This is bringing back memories.
I can believe that, which is the worst part.
Why can't you stop saying ooh ooh? This is exactly why you can't make friends. This is why Papa's business trip never ends.
Aw.
This is why
Oh, wow.
I would like to point out the fact that ooh is supposed to be the
excuse
sound
me.
of a seagull.
Ma'am, is everything all right?
Do you want something?
The one who timidly called out to her was the station attendant. Rosa glared at the attendant with a look that said, "Don't butt into the problems of a mother and child, stranger." Of course, the attendant surely hadn't wanted to get involved either. However, Rosa had been yelling on the platform for a much longer time than she had imagined. Her emotional scolding had led the passengers on the platform to advise the attendant to call out to her. Rosa yelled at the attendant, saying not to worry anymore since they'd be getting on the next train. And then, finally, or rather for the second time, she noticed the passengers on the platform staring at her from a distance. Rosa sweat slightly and felt a breeze make her sweat go cold, tormenting her. Maria still kept on crying, shielding her own head. Of course, if this beating continued, she'd probably keep crying indefinitely.
What a pansy.
She's a child.
So were we.
I did it. Again.
As the terrible heat in Rosa's head faded, she knew she had surrendered her soul to evil again.
Mommy, come back.
Rosa fell to her knees and hugged Maria, whose face was all soggy with tears and mucus.
Maria, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Finally, Maria realized that her mother was her mother again. She clung to her mother's body and cried, burying her face in her mother's chest.
Forgive your bad mama. Forgive your bad mama. I'm so sorry. Please, don't hate your mama.
I'm just fine. Not hate Mama. Mama was only being possessed by the bad witch again. But you came back, so I'm just fine.
Yeah, that's right. Mama was just being possessed by the evil witch again. I'm so sorry.
For a long time, the two of them hugged each other, asking for and sharing words of forgiveness. After a while, they calmed down and both moved back at the same time. Maria's face and Rosa's face were both deep red after crying their eyes out.
Nostalgia.
Kind of.
Do you want to have a Halloween festival, Maria?
Yeah, I want to show those pumpkin marshmallows to George Oni-chan and Jessica Oni-chan.
One it's a girl.
Stop it.
It was a candy that had been selling near the cash register at the shop where they'd eaten breakfast. A fancy sweet that had a big orange marshmallow in the shape of a jack-o'-lantern attached to the tip of a stick. Maria had wanted it and had insistently pestered Rosa for it. Rosa had refused, saying there was no way that she could buy sweets right after breakfast.
Then, Maria, I don't know if they sell those in this town or not, but let's get off and try searching for them, okay?
I love you, Mama. Love you so much. Thank you.
I love you too, Maria.
The truth was that they didn't have time to waste loitering around at a stopover station. If they missed the airplane, they'd fall half a day behind schedule. She should have left home with more time to spare, but she'd ended up leaving late after choosing Maria's clothes. Because of that, Rosa had been a bit impatient since the morning. She looked at the clock. They had to get on the next train immediately. But her daughter firmly joined hands with her to go buy the sweet with her mother, and that hand was warm. To Rosa, as she was now, it was more important to renew her bonds with Maria. To her, Maria was not only a beloved daughter, she was everything Rosa had.
That's really depressing.
Fortunately, they could see a big supermarket right in front of the station. They might not be able to find exactly the same sweet, but Maria would probably be happy with a similar one. Besides, Rosa couldn't show up with a face swelled from crying. She must fix her makeup.
Maybe we won't find marshmallows exactly like that one, but hopefully we can find something like it. Let's buy some and surprise all your cousins together.
Yeah, as long as we buy it together, any sweet is fine.
They exited through the turnstiles of the station in this unknown town. Maria walked across the pedestrian crossing together with her mother, chuckling to herself, as though she was walking in an amusement park. Both faces were still deep red, but the two of them, mother and child, smiled warmly at each other without any restraint.
Why is she laughing?
Back to the present.
Dear, what are you doing in a place like this?
Oh, it's you. It's nothing. I just find this a pleasant place to think.
All that our preparations for today have been completed. Why don't we have some tea and relax while we wait?
Forgive me. I'm always making you handle such troublesome matters.
Please, rely on me even more. I am your wife.
Naturally, I'm grateful to have you always coming to my aid. That's precisely why I am able to devote myself to my work.
I understand. I understand about your work. And the topic of father's inheritance, right?
That has nothing to do with you. It's nothing more than fishing for rotten meat amongst greedy siblings.
It's okay, dear. Everything will go well. Your businesses have never failed to work themselves out.
Natsuhi softly cuddled close to Krause's shoulder. She complimented Krause on his hard work, but Natsuhi knew better than anyone that his work wasn't going well. Krause's project was something like a seesaw where a large amount of money swings. Big investments can lead to big payoffs. But like large seesaws, they tend to shake a lot while moving very slowly, instead of showing immediate results. At times, it's possible to make further investments, so that the seesaw inclines faster towards the side you want. Of course, you'd only do that if you were confident you'd be able to recover all your investments in the not-so-distant future. However, the seesaws Krause chose never turned out as he would have liked them to. His foresight wasn't wrong, but the times were moving sluggishly. They never managed to catch up with him. For example, think of a literal seesaw placed in a park. It's a really popular item, so there's always someone playing on it, and you've got to wait a long time for your turn. Let's say that one day, you spotted one of those seesaws that was completely unused, and you raced to grab it first and have it all to yourself. However, unless someone got on the opposite side of the seesaw, you wouldn't be able to play on it. What if lots of time passed, and nobody came to the opposite end? Seesaws are popular, so if you wait long enough, a companion will surely show up. But Krause noticed something. The weather's getting worse. So nobody's coming outside to play. But seesaws are popular, so someone will surely come eventually. If he vacated his place because of the worsening weather, it would certainly be snatched away. And once again, he'd end up longingly gazing from a distance at someone else having fun on the seesaw. On one side of the seesaw, he continued to wait patiently, all alone.
I'm imagining
That was
this.
Krause's project and his current situation.
I'm imagining him actually on a seesaw.
I think I saw fan art of that one time.
It doesn't surprise me. Poor Krause sitting on one end of a seesaw waiting for someone to get on the other end.
Well, no, in the fan art, not that he was on it, but you know.
Aww,
Well,
that's actually cute.
It was really nice.
If only I'd had a bit more courage and the self-confidence to believe in my own foresight, I would never have failed.
Yes, that's true. Your foresight is never wrong. You are the only one who inherited father's resourcefulness. You inherited an innate disposition that none of the other siblings did.
But I could never believe in it! I always shut my own projects down like a coward. Why can't I believe in myself? Who would believe in a man who can't believe in himself? Nobody believes.
No
I'm
one
always
believes.
sitting on the seat where the losers must sit. And my father, my mother, my siblings all sneer at me. How long is it going to take for me to be set free of this emotional complex? Just how long will it take? Natsuhi was the only one who knew. Only she knew of Krause's anguish. As the eldest son of the Ushiromiya family, who would soon be forced to bear an immense responsibility, he couldn't open his pained heart to anyone, and was always getting compared to his father's great enterprises.
I have made preparations concerning all other matters, so that you'll be able to devote your attention entirely to the family conference. Yes, everything else has been seen to.
Are we still in the prologue for this episode?
Thank you.
No
Will
comment.
there be any problems dealing with father?
What, Miguel?
No.
I said no comment.
God dang it.
Genjin and Dr. Nanjo are on our side. I'll never allow those greedy siblings to make contact with father.
Hello, Goda here. Yes, please leave it to me. I'm anxious to put my skills to work for the big annual job.
I hate him.
In the kitchen, multicolored ingredients were gathered and the preliminary arrangements were promptly being started. Even though it was still morning, the ingredients for dinner were already in saucepans and steaming. Normally, he had to deal with several assorted matters, but on the day of the family conference, he could devote himself entirely to cooking. To Goda, who was originally a chef, this was surely the greatest gala occasion of the whole year. Yes, dinner will be calf steak. A wonderful cut of meat is already anxiously waiting for tonight in the refrigerator. Please be sure to look forward to dinner. It was rare for Goda to be in this good of a mood toward his fellow servants. Goda bragged about being the Ushiromiya family's personal chef, and knowing he was considered worthy to display his excellent cooking at the family conference was his greatest honor.
Oh, damn. Understood. I will leave everything to you. Also, is Kumasawa there?
Kumasawa-san? I happened to see her earlier, but she is not here. Perhaps she went to get things ready in the guest house.
Is she loafing around again? No, it is fine. Please continue with your work.
Yes, leave everything to me, Goda! Genji placed the telephone back on the receiver, sighing lightly. Genji sighed once again, thinking of Kumasawa, who was probably hiding again, even though things were this busy, and the ostentatious Goda, who only felt like doing anything on a day when he could show off.
Excuse me, the preparations for all the rooms in the guest house are complete.
We received instructions from my lady to prepare a room for 4 people so that the children can spend the night together. So, what shall we do?
I hear Bachelor are recovering for the first time in 6 years. Presumably, my lady wants to stay up late tonight with her 3 cousins. Make the preparation. You do not need to tell Madame.
I see. Certainly.
So, tonight we'll have the late night shift, followed immediately by the morning shift. It looks like these 2 days will be tiresome.
Speaking of which, the weather forecast is saying a typhoon will strike in this area. Will everything be alright?
Assuming the typhoon is straight too far from its course, it may affect the boat ride back for the family members. The family conference schedule might be extended until Monday or Tuesday. Our task may be a long and tiring one, but I earnestly ask that you take care not to make any blunders. Remain calm and do not. Kana, be sure to greet our guests in a sociable manner.
Yes, I'll be careful.
I'll be careful.
Today, we must conduct ourselves in a manner suitable for a very important guest. See to it that you make no blunders. Is this before or after you spoke with Beatrice?
We understand. All guests who visit here are important.
The answer, David.
I'm
Wait,
sorry,
which
you said what I think
question?
you're gonna say.
And before or after who spoke to Beatrice?
Shannon and Canon.
After. This is the day of the family conference.
Okay.
This is the first day.
In other words, use common sense.
Okay. I will kill you, Miguel.
For
Canon?
what?
What?
Why? What did she do?
What did I do?
I said Miguel.
Oh.
Yeah, I heard Miguel too, so
Okay, I think
you guys are hearing mistakenly.
I would never
if he had said Brielle, I would have been the first person to react.
Okay.
I would never said threaten Brielle when he.
Why?
No.
Why?
Oh, never.
Why?
Are you scared of Calvin?
Okay.
What? No.
No, Calvin. He probably is in shape to some degree, but David.
He in the airport for
big
crying out loud.
dude. David is a big dude. He can take a hit.
Oh, I get it. David's basically Yoda.
Oh, magical golden ship.
Big,
I'm
strong,
I have-
and not very courageous.
Oi!
I should
You're
give
not
Yoda's
wrong.
head to David.
Canon, in the truest sense, we will be seeing a very important guest today. Make sure that you're prepared.
Yes, sir.
Canon, is something the matter? You seem to be uneasy. Do you have some prior engagement at this time?
Huh? No, it's nothing. My apologies.
Nessa, important guests will be arriving today. Detach yourself from your private life.
Don't you dare say it. Don't you dare say it.
I don't know what you mean by private life.
As Shannon blushed just a bit, she turned her gaze away from the clock. Was it about time for the airplane carrying the family to arrive at Nijima? She tried to hide the fact that her upcoming long-awaited reunion with George was making her heart race, but Cannon, who stood beside her, seemed to see right through her.
Will I finally get to put emotion into words?
Shannon, please don't say a word and accept us.
Inside a bathroom stall, George was practicing something over and over, taking out a small velvet box hidden in his pocket like a quick-draw desert gunman.
That's not it. Shannon likes men who's more assertive. I've got to pump it up with more horsepower. Shannon, put this on your ring finger. That's the order, okay?
Okay.
We don't say it properly. That is on the left hand. We should put it on our right hand. No, Shannon isn't that ignorant. How about let there's some room for her to express a free will? That'd be a little. I mean.
As he crossed his arms, muttering, someone knocked on the door. George was snapped back to reality.
Oh god, alright, I forgot. I'm this bastard.
Okay, Rudolph.
Hey.
Begin.
This is basically canon. He is a bastard.
Yes, make your nose red.
He's hot.
Okay.
He's a dilf.
I agree.
This is why I don't invite Brielle to commentaries.
Hey, George, good. You're okay. No, what? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
What? What is that
kind of
voice?
reading was that?
That's not how you read Rudolph before.
No, you know what? Go with it. It was funny.
No.
Hey. George,
He can't focus. Leave him alone. The poor sap is damaged mentally, and it's all your fault, Brio.
I don't. I'm not doing it.
Pardon? Your audio is sounding very scratchy to me at the moment.
David has lost his mind. Counter 7. You know, we should
Like,
try the counter. Every time
I
someone
can't
hits him,
tell if that's David's or if that's just the audio being bad.
What does that mean?
But to me, what I heard was sound.
I did not hear that. What I heard was bad acting.
I don't know if he even read the line. That's how badly it's coming over the speaker for me at the moment.
We are the most ineffective book club in the world.
Why?
I never said it was you, David.
Okay, that one came out loud and clear.
So it is David's fault.
So-
Understood.
Tell me, did he read the line? Can I click go, or does he need to read it?
Brielle, I forgive you.
Because
David
I
read
honestly
the
don't
line.
know.
He did read the line, and Brielle, I forgive you.
He did?
He did read it.
Yes.
I heard it fine.
Okay.
It was just the voice that got me.
Hey, Uncle Rudolph. It's okay. I'm fine. No need to worry. Really? That's good then. But you know, you're straying way too much. Mother. Your ass will burst.
Rudolph
My-
washed his hands, laughing cheerfully as he left.
I hope you.
George,
There's no-
realizing that the most embarrassing part hadn't been overheard, relaxed and felt extremely relieved.
GA, isn't Rosa here yet?
Not yet. She's pretty late.
A good thing the weather's delaying our flight. The schedule has gone on normally, she would have missed the plane. What's she plan on doing then?
Rosa-san is very much an adult now. She'll manage it somehow. No matter how old they get, older brothers always treat their younger sisters like children.
Of
More like a
course,
brat.
Dad's always a kid, no matter how old he gets.
What you say? If I'm a kid, then that's your baby. Come on, Pastor Chan, up you go.
What? Stop it. That tickles. Stop!
You look more like two bratty friends than a father and son. Look, she's here. She's here.
Why are you breaking into laughter, though?
Oh! If it isn't Rosa-san! Maria-chan! Long time no see!
Long time no see!
What was that?
Maria, shouldn't that be "It's good to see you again"? Greet Hideyoshi-san properly.
It's good to see you again.
There you go! Well said! How about some candy as a reward? Oh, huh? Where did I put it?
Rosa-san, it's good to see you again. It's good to see you too, Maria-chan. It's been too long, Kirei-san, Hideyoshi-san. And, oh my, Battler-kun. Look how big you've gotten.
I don't think she would have said it like that. Ah, come on. I'm begging to hear that from everyone I meet.
Hey Rosa, you're late. If the plane was on time, you would really have made it.
What?
I'm sorry.
Are you okay?
You know that? You know that?
Was that David? I thought that was Brielle.
Was that? I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell who that was.
Okay, man.
David.
You know, David, you would have gotten away with it if you didn't say anything. I would have honestly thought it was Brielle.
I mean, part of me thought it was, but another part of me thought, no, David's the one who has outbursts like that.
David, do you have asthma?
Just me, don't want to. I can't control them.
Do you have asthma?
No, it's not asthma, it's something else.
I will
I don't know what it
inquire.
is.
I will not inquire after this.
That's why he's just. I'm sorry. We had some trouble making our train connection. So, are we waiting on the weather again? Oh, don't complain. I much prefer the 30-minute plane trip to spending 6 hours bouncing about on a boat. Even if we're kept waiting here for an hour, it's still much faster overall.
Is that Maria? You sure have gotten big. She's at that growing age.
You haven't seen her for 6 years, right? Of course she's changed. Women are creatures who can be born again in a single day when they have a change of heart.
Amen, Dad, for me. Shut it, Junko.
I didn't know there was a person.
Maria, noticing a big man she didn't recognize mixed in among the relatives, hid behind Rosa's back and glared at Battler.
Come on, Battler, say hi. Last time you met her, she was just 3 years old. So you're practically meeting for the first time.
Yeah, of course she wouldn't remember something that happened when she was 3. Hey Maria, long time no see. You sure have gotten big.
Maria, this is Battler Oni-chan. Rudolph Nissan's son. Understand?
The brother's son is. The brother is the son.
She was obviously on her guard. After all, it was hardly surprising that she'd be scared if a large guy like Battler suddenly started speaking frankly to her. Battler noticed that as well and thought of various ways he might approach her. Then he spotted the candy she had in her hand. It was the jack-o'-lantern sweet Rosa had bought for her.
I see, it's October, so that must be for Halloween. If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank, right?
Normally, trying to snatch a sweet away from a small child will result in them crying and screaming. The adults seemed dubious about Battler's tactics, but Maria looked unexpectedly pleased, her face splitting into a wide grin.
Halloween! Halloween! See, Mama? Battler also knows about Halloween. See?
Hey, call him Battler Oni-chan. Sorry, Battler-kun. Call me Oni-chan.
Shut up. No, don't sweat it. Please, call me Battler. Cause I'll be calling you Maria. Look, Maria, it's Halloween. If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank.
Why are you making him sound so flirtatious?
Because there are other people in the house and I don't want to disturb them.
If you don't give me sweets, I'll play a prank.
And besides, the amount of fan art of these two is ridiculous.
That doesn't surprise me. From inside her purse, Maria picked out a jack-o'-lantern sweet similar to the one she had in her hand and presented it to Battler. When Battler accepted it, that seemed to be enough to confirm their friendship. The adults were amazed at how good children can be at getting along with each other. Maria had been throwing a tantrum because she wanted a Halloween festival, so Battler, who knew about trick-or-treating, must have felt like an ally.
I never understood why Japan doesn't celebrate Halloween.
Why?
Pardon?
I never understood why Japan doesn't celebrate Halloween.
Because different cultures celebrate different things, David.
You mean,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. Sometimes a holiday just doesn't catch on in a certain part of the world.
Yeah, it's called
But like,
tradition.
we don't actually trick people in Halloween.
Actually,
Not anymore.
Not anymore. We that used to be a thing until lawsuits.
Yeah, I've read more than a few books from back in the day where they had all the kids in the town pulling all kinds of pranks.
I did it myself with a few buddies of mine, some old chums, and at the end of the day, as we lads, we got into trouble.
I think the funniest one I remember reading was there's one kid in the town. All the kids are working together, and this one apparently had a job where he was supposed to like put a stick inside the cars so that they were pushing up against the car horn, so that the car horn would be stuck on. And he was trying to do this to all the cars, but it was going slowly at first. And they're like, "Come on, hurry it up! You're gonna get caught!" And then suddenly he starts going very rapidly. And when he gets up to the rest of the group are asking him, "Why did it take you so long at first?" And he's like, "I had to lock all the doors inside the cars."
What? Genius!
It wasn't just making the cars go on, it was also locking them from the inside. Her defensive posture from before was completely gone. Now she was all cheery, as though they'd been friends for decades.
That's right. Halloween's a pretty minor event in Japan. You always see people marching in costume parades on the news from overseas, but I've never seen it here.
I wanted to wear a costume too. I wanted to say trick or treat with all the cousins wearing costumes.
I'd like to point out for the record that every single time we get to this part, and I hear Maria saying, "I wish I was wearing a costume," my eyes wind up looking up here.
No one can see what up here means.
I'm circling it with my mouse. Can you not see that?
No, I can't.
No.
No one can
I'm
see
looking at the crown.
Oh.
Okay.
There's a crown on her doggone head. How are you not wearing a costume?
Well,
It's
no,
so
I think it's just a headpiece, kind of like Battler's upside down crucifix right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's a whole chess metaphor significance going on with Battler being the white king piece and Maria being the black queen piece, but at the same time,
I mean, let's just say it's hot and move on.
Wait, so we're gonna be saving this scene more times?
pardon?
So let's just say we're gonna have what's called the Madoka Magica effect, where we see the same scene 100 times and just play along with it.
God damn it, time loop.
I never said time loop.
But we don't see the
What
same
would it
thing.
be?
Well, I mean, kind of do it. Come now, David. You've been watching. You should have a fair idea of how this kind of story goes.
No, he does not. I tried asking him questions, and the poor man was lost out of his mind.
Well, I mean, but he's seen several arcs. I mean, by this point, David has seen several episodes, so to speak, of Higurashi visual novel material, where each individual arc is an episode of Higurashi.
Okay.
How the fuck is the game any of that game of Clue? I do not understand that.
Okay, so at least he figured out the game. You'll figure it out later, David. Don't worry about it. Man, you need to stop threatening people.
Miguel, it's still your line.
Oh, sorry. I was so enthralled by David's state proclamations of revenge against me with his editorial tactics. Now allow me to continue. I see. Next time, let's do it together. What would you like to dress up as?
Hey, Rich! Rich, Richie!
The name has been said.
Yes, the name has been said.
Did someone call for a devil? No, we called for a witch. Oh, same difference.
No.
She shall come. Oh, my lady, what are you doing in such a place? Madam was looking for you.
I'm here because I don't want to be found. Anyway, I'm sure she just wants to scold me like it's your periods are right and watch your language.
Without a doubt.
You know, when the day of the family conference comes, I always start thinking about this witch for some reason.
Oh? And why might that be?
Family conference is the day when everyone related to grandfather gathers. I hear that this time even Bowser's gonna be coming up to 6 years. What if it's just like that? That some relative who hasn't shown themselves for several decades but suddenly shows up. That's what I'm always thinking about.
Oh. Could a relative like that exist?
I mean, be existing somehow. Nobody knows her background. Could she be grandfather's mistress from long ago? What if one of her what if one of
See what I
what if
mean,
one of the
Calvin?
descendants
Reading out loud from a script is difficult.
No, it's not.
Oh.
You guys are just crazy.
No, public speaking is easy.
Public
What if
speaking
one
is
of my
not
just-
easy.
Yes, it is.
I had to take an entire college class on it.
You know,
So did I,
tested out of
and
it.
yeah, so did I, and honestly, Calvin, the hard part was making the script. Actually, presenting it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I tested out of
No,
it.
presenting it was hard. Making the script was easy by comparison.
I never had to take this class because I literally tested out of it.
And what if we then suddenly appear and tell us to return the gold we were given or something?
Krausemann and the others will probably discuss the Master's inheritance problem this year, too. Once they get so fired up talking about the witch's gold, one could hardly be surprised if that witch herself were to show up, yes?
Oh.
I just said that a minute ago!
Oh yeah, remember this is the most monotonous story ever.
Come on, yes, you keep quitting and getting rehired. You've been here as long as Genji-san, right? You know more about Beatrice, don't you?
Who knows? Even if I try to remember, this old woman here can't even recall what she had for breakfast this morning.
That's excellent. That means she won't bring up things you did a month ago.
Come they're always dodging with the excuses, but you know something, right? Sometimes you feel kind of devious. You know something and you're laughing behind our backs.
That's harsh. I don't have any secrets. The only thing I can say is that Beatrice-sama is the Golden Witch.
She's
And that she
Beatrice.
is the other master who controls the night of this island.
Kumasawa and Beatrice confirmed together.
Okay, now you're just repeating stuff grandmother said.
Now you're just
Kumasawa Triche!
Kumasawa, that's what he said.
Kumasawa Triche!
You couldn't do it correctly, David. I'm sorry.
Kumasawa Triche!
She's a witch.
Oh no.
I said a thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's say it.
one moment. I want to type something to Miguel here.
Is it a direct message or a?
What?
You know what's hilarious? I can still hear the clicking of the keyboard in the background.
So can we.
Okay.
Okay, I
Ready.
know that's true, but come on, man.
Okay.
That's kind of a spoiler, don't you think?
It must be a pain to play
That's
along
why I
with
texted it to you privately.
The government's crap, even though you get paid for it.
However, I can say this much.
What?
In ancient times, Rokkenjima was feared and called Akushimi. Akushimi.
What?
Akushima.
Azukishima.
I said it. I said it almost right, but I kept saying me instead of ma.
No, you're saying Azukishima, which implies there's 3 I's in that. So no.
Azukishima. That's what I said.
No.
Except that I kept getting the doggone
Azukishima.
A at the very end
No,
mixed up with an I.
Azukishima.
So I kept going back.
Yeah, Azukishima.
In ancient times, Rokkenjima was feared and called Azukishima, Azuki Bean Island. The Azuki is said to be a corrupted form of Akujiki, and in fact, it was called Akujikishima. That is what is told among the fishermen.
By the way, Shima means island.
I've heard about it before. The port does a lot of sunken rocks and shipwrecks about here. The fishermen got scared and stayed away whenever they could, right?
Evil spirits settled down in Akujikishima and have continually eaten the souls of people since ancient times.
Akujishima.
Quite a few people lost their lives because of this island.
And then that monk, the traveling Shugenja or whatever, built a shrine. We bought the souls and sell them there, right? Sounds pretty crazy though. Is that the shrine that
yes.
The Beatrice wanted to
and
break?
that shrine was for the repose of souls was destroyed by an eerie violet thunderbolt this summer, which tore up the darkness of the night.
Oh. Come on, Salazar. You really like those stories. Okay, sure, you'd be pretty keep when they both took out a shrine. But, well, it was all worn out from the start. You were just got washed away by some big wave.
The evil spirits of Akujikishima woke from their slumber and summoned Beatrice-sama. If Beatrice-sama happens to pay a visit to the family conference.
If she does?
Kumasawa fell silent for a moment. Jessica was pressing her to keep going, so that gap felt strange and eerie. When Kumasawa noticed that she had Jessica plenty scared with her silence, she grinned broadly. Well now, I wonder what would happen.
Whoa. That sounds great.
Of course. Won't you be able to do better at work if you get a chance to enrich your heart by living the good life every once in a while?
Yep. Can't live right unless both your wallet and your heart are enriched after all. Sure, I'll keep that day open. Go ahead and make reservation.
Okay. Don't even think of missing it.
Yeah, I'm counting on you. I love you, Kira.
After kissing the receiver, Rudolph hung up. Before his seat, there were several executives with their sleeves rolled up, eagerly awaiting the end of that phone call.
How would you kiss a disgusting receiver?
Sorry to keep you waiting. Have you heard anything from the States yet?
Yes. You have a call from Dale Watanabe, the lawyer. I'll transfer it.
On the whole, how's it going?
Well, there does seem to be one unfortunate matter. It appears the other party has no intentions of withdrawing from the trial.
Okay, so don't worry them. Please transfer here.
Understood. I'll do that right away. The executive ordered that the external line be transferred to the secretarial office. At once, the phone in front of Rudolph rang.
Hey there. Hello? Hello? Hey, sorry for the wait. Ushidamiya speaking. Thanks. How's it going on your end?
Hello, President Ushiomiya. Let's get the pleasantries and jump into the main issue. I've got good news and bad news. Which would you like first?
Might as well start with the bad. I hate biting when there's no dessert.
Very well. The bad news is that the other party is getting ready to prosecute. Just a few days ago, a similar trial resulted in a decision in favor of the plaintiff. The defendants were using roughly the same arguments we planned to use, but they were rejected in every case. I'm afraid to say it, but if we face the courtroom as we are now, it's extremely likely that each one of our claims will get rejected.
So that trial ended up being a total bust after all. And I thought the position was even more solid than ours. That hurts. Okay, what about the good news?
I managed to contact the executives of the other party. I explained the situation we're in, told them we have no intentions of tarnishing their brand's image, and managed to get an understanding. They'll send us their terms over the next few days, and if these terms are carried out, they promise to withdraw their charges. This is their proposal according to the number 2 man on their board of directors.
Your impression?
Are you falling asleep already?
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna add your impression.
To be honest, I expect their terms will be extremely severe. We estimate that changing the company name and the brand name will be inevitable. I think we'll be able to earn some leeway by playing with the amount of settlement money, making a public apology in a major newspaper, and carrying all this out within a reasonable amount of time.
They sure make this complicated, but they could just tell us to go broke.
They only recently switched to a new president, and their groundwork hasn't been completely laid yet. If we resist until the bitter end, they fear the forces opposing the current president won't hesitate to aid their enemies. Hence, their big shots want to settle this matter as quickly as possible, too. So, we might still have enough leeway to get them to mitigate their terms if it'll lead to a quick settlement.
By the way, are we still looking at a credit on my mind?
You need to be prepared for that. Even that would be much cheaper than paying punitive damages.
Thank you very much, sir. Please contact me if anything new happens. Paying you for the big bucks, so no idle chit chat. Say that?
Yes.
Thank you. Goodbye.
You could have said that in the most
Good say.
stereotypically Japanese accent you can make.
What?
He's a Japanese man speaking these words in English.
Yeah, you should have said it super stereotypically. You know what? Should I do it?
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye,
Yes,
yeah. Goodbye.
Goodbye, yeah. Hey, that sounds like Rudolph to me.
No, it's good to buy.
Goodbye.
There's no A at the end. It's B-A-I.
Just go.
Rudolph hung up the phone. The executives sitting in reception seats seemed to have guessed at the contents of that discussion.
You guys hear that? They forgive us and we can pile up enough money. Now, all we gotta do is haggle over the amount of money.
But President, the likely sum for the settlement Mr. Watanabe indicated is too much. We don't have that much of a margin.
If we noticed what happened, we would have never started this diversify.
What did he say?
The calculations were that we could escape a capital crisis if we managed to endure for 3 years. To think we'd be stabbed at the time like this. How bad can our luck get?
I guess we fell at the step of the hop, step, and jump. Enough to make you cry.
When they cry.
We have no choice but to draw the money from the main bank.
Banks are no good. You only bet the money on winners. This becomes an improviser, but we can't show weakness to the banks.
President, do we have access to any funds that are unaccounted for? Funds we are unaware of?
Do I look like the kind of man? The content of my world are totally exposed to you guys, okay? The account book over there show all a company has.
In that case,
Right.
we need to raise money. We need a sponsor who can draw in several million for us as soon as possible. President, couldn't something be worked out with one of your personal connections? President! President!
Calm down, you bastards. Let me wipe out raising the money. You guys just keep the business running without making too much noise. Our recruiters are saying that they'll let us be if we can show them the money. We've already got thick pipelines in Asia. Things will probably be shaky, but we'll be able to maintain our current deal. Basically, if we can just bring the money together, we'll be able to solve all our problems. How's your watch? I'll fix all of this. I won't leave you out in the cold. Time to start getting your hopes up again. Until it's all behind us, I'll be rewarding all of you guys with a champagne tower. I promise you that. So shut up and follow me. Got it?
What the
I don't think that's how business exactly talk to his subordinates or partners.
Yeah.
That's how Rudolph talks, and I like it.
I'm aware. This one
I'll back
context
it
would have been a little different.
I need you to rest. I'll be right back.
Okay, so while David's in the restroom, does anyone want to talk about how their day went?
I slept through it.
Rio, do you work?
I mean, I tend to sleep in the afternoons before this,
My work is
which is why
you're
I
not
didn't join
comfortable,
last
go
night. I kind of got sidetracked and didn't go to sleep when I meant to.
My work is doesn't require. Never mind.
Okay, I know exactly what this job is, and I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna.
Don't worry, I'm fine with it.
Oh my gosh!
Pardon?
I'm not gonna say it. I'll get banned if I say it.
Now I'm curious.
I can't say that out loud.
You think we're gonna judge you too harshly?
No, I can't say it because. Did you forget we were recording?
Oh.
I know exactly what it is. I just don't want to say it.
I'm a Discord moderator as my job.
I did not know you were a pedophile.
I'm just kidding.
I should like to point out that neither one of those is a paying job.
I'm aware.
And as a Discord moderator myself, I can at least confirm one of them.
Calvin, please rephrase that. That sounds so bad.
As a Discord moderator myself,
No,
I can at least
not
confirm
that.
one of them.
Please just say which one you can confirm.
I would think it was implied.
No, you have to say it out loud. Otherwise, I'm gonna get banned. The
I
airplane
refuse.
suddenly
If you
shook.
can't read context that badly, then you don't
It's-
deserve to know the
it's
answer.
Not me. It's the bot that scans my stuff.
I'm back.
Oh
I'm
thank
filled
God!
Hey.
Oh thank God, David is back. Praise the
What
Lord.
happened?
Miguel was letting his imagination go wild.
What else
What?
happened?
That is not what happened, Calvin, and you knew it.
Hey,
What happened?
I spoke very clearly. You were the one who wanted me to be more specific when the context was very clear.
What happened?
Normally I could agree with you, Calvin, except we're recording.
Like, Miguel, what's going on?
Well, if
Nothing.
someone listens to the recording and doesn't get the
It's
context
usually
and
a
what I said,
machine that I have
then
listen to the
they
recording.
deserve to be tricked.
But Calvin, it's usually a machine that listens to the recording. It's bad.
Ay, ay, ay. Anywho,
Mamma mia. Ayúdame.
the airplane suddenly shook, probably due to turbulence. Rudolph was jostled awake. He'd woken early that morning and ended up drifting off to sleep while resting in his seat.
What
What?
the fuck?
Sorry.
You.
You have the
okay?
most terrifying hiccups.
Are you
That
sure?
was a hiccup, bro.
Are you sure you weren't still pretty sleepy? After all, it seems you've been really busy with work lately.
Being busy with work, nothing to complain about, right? There's nothing else to do. It won't be long before we're out in the cold.
Why does he stand like that?
What do you mean?
Nothing. Good point. Now that even Batherkin's back, we'll be might be looking at worse than just the two of us going around begging.
The idea of Rudolph begging is hilarious to me.
Yeah. Our family's all together again for the first time in 6 years. The leader of our family's got to give it his best if we want to spend some time alone together.
When he looked out the window, he saw that the airplane had already started to drop in altitude considerably. The fishing boats, which had only looked like black grains a short while ago, were starting to become clearly recognizable.
If I could portray myself with my father and get 10 million yen every time he slugged me, I'd do it a dozen times.
That's not that much.
Or maybe he'd just go and die already.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is his dad, right?
I've always depended heavily on his financial support, and now I'm after his inheritance. It is straight to hell. I can hardly complain if I don't want to meet the man I've become.
You know, if I'll say anything about this cast of characters, these guys are bad enough dudes to rescue the president from ninjas. I'm glad someone got that joke. Could it be that once again you do not plan on making an appearance at the family conference?
Nanjo looked at Kinzo's face, sighing. Kinzo's eyes remained rooted to a strange magic book.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I have no intention of joining those vultures in their debate. They can discuss how they'll suck my bones dry on their own. How utterly contemptible.
My, how troublesome.
Nanjo shook his head slightly. To him, children and grandchildren were lovely things. He believed watching them grow was the only way to truly enjoy old age. So Kinzo's words were very saddening to Nanjo. If the time comes for me to leave this room, I will show myself. Just as she does not show herself yet. When Kinzo raised his face, his gaze pointed at the portrait of the witch, which was respectfully displayed on the wall. Kinzo's mind didn't dwell for a moment on the fact that today was the family conference, where all of his beloved relatives would gather.
Beloved.
Did I?
No, I'm just saying that's a very inaccurate word.
I
for
read
the
that right.
character. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying for the character that is not accurate to say. Yeah, there's no way in hell Kinzo thinks his relatives are beloved.
It was filled only by the face of the witch in the oil painting, who never smiled except inside the portrait. Everybody knew that interrupting Kinzo when he talked about Beatrice would trigger his wrath. Today I will hold a certain ceremony.
Oh, what might that be?
Perhaps it is closer to a gamble than a ceremony. After all, magic without risk never house a miracle. Nanjo had heard Kinzo say this many times before. You might even call it a pet phrase of Kinzo's. Kinzo apparently believed that magic and miracles could occur if you gambled your own fate with a certain amount of risk and triumph.
Miracle and certain. I wonder what sort of gamble you're making. As the old man who once called the Golden Gambler, and who's now so old he might pass on at any time, this should be well worth watching.
I see. So the secret ritual I have developed after much research appears to be nothing more than a gamble to one unversed in magic such as you. Very well.
Honestly, Kinzo needs help.
If I have faith in miracles and win, you will see clearly on this day that all my research did bear fruit, despite it seeming to be little more than the product of my eccentricity. If you win, it will all end just as you have already seen, as nothing more than the eccentricity of an old man who might leave this world at any time.
Oh, just what sort of gamble could you be planning to take? Your friend, that bet or ceremony, as you called it. I can only pray most sincerely that you achieve victory in it.
Yes, I thank you.
Speaking of which, Kinto-san, have you heard that a much longed for guest will be present at the family conference this year?
What? For once, Kinzo reacted to Nanjo's words and turned around.
That's right. Koraku from Rudolfo-san's family. I hear he's coming after an absence of 6 years. I'm sure he's became a splendid boy. He became a splendid boy. That is not correct.
Oh, Battler. I wouldn't call him longed for, a guest who's failed to show up for a mere 6 years.
Near.
After hearing Battler's name and making a disappointed and ill-humored expression, Kinzo turned his back again.
Sorry, I imagine those 6 years went by in a flash for you, considering how you've immersed yourself in your research in this room.
However, we might actually receive a visit from a truly longed-for guest. Everything depends on the results of the roulette. The roulette has already started to spin. Will it be rouge or noir? Tonight, let us enjoy ourselves as we see what kind of miracle the roulette will show us. The payoffs are large, and I don't intend to lose. Beatrice, accept my bet. At that time, the telephone on the table rang. The piercing sound seemed to irritate Kinzo, and he picked up the receiver to preserve the silence as much as he could. What is it? I'm busy.
Genji speaking. Everyone has arrived.
What of it? Just serve them some tea or something.
Certainly. I will do so.
Kinzo hung up the phone rudely. Looking at that, Nandro sighed yet again and shifted his attention outside the window.
And who reads this? Brielle, go.
No. That's your line.
Ozzy is not.
It's Nando.
I know.
That's your line, Nanjo.
It doesn't say my name. Ozzy is not.
Pardon?
Excuse me?
I fell.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
How did you fall? Aren't you sitting down?
I fell into my wall.
What?
Calvin,
can you please explain to us what you did to her?
Don't look at me. We're not even in the same building.
I am aware.
Or the same state.
I know. I think the only two in the same state are me and David.
I'm standing and
Alright, you're on your phone, aren't you? You're not on the laptop.
yes, I am.
That makes a lot more sense. I'm thinking she's sitting down at a desk chair with like some like super crazy.
No, I'm standing.
No, she's literally reading this off her phone. Okay, fine. As he is now, I doubt Kinzo would pay any heed to any sort of guest. Any guest possibly make Kinzo come out when the time comes, as he said. Kinzo had a single person in mind, but that was a guest who certainly wouldn't appear.
Nandro stared at the witch of the portrait with her impassive expression, unable to decide whether she was smiling or sad, and then gazed up at the lead-colored sky.
Oh, great. Petrucci's here now.
I like how he calls it. I like how my microphone picks it up as Bash Shri.
What the fuck, back here?
Oh right, do I get to speak finally?
You've been speaking.
No, I meant as the character I wanted.
So, are all the pieces in place? Shall we line them all up again and start a new game? Any objections from you?
For glove work?
Nope, none.
Wait, what?
What?
Oh, you guys have. Okay, you guys don't know what this is. This is so much
Challengingly.
cool.
Well,
Finally,
the witch looked at him challengingly while elegantly smoking her pipe.
This is the best part of me.
And Battler? He just rudely shrugged his shoulders as if he didn't care what she did.
Wait, but this is continuation from the tea party?
They're
He didn't
dating?
meet her eyes. But that didn't mean he didn't intend to challenge her. It showed his clear determination to never be taken in by this bastard's tricks. It was an expression of his determination to
She's his dad.
What?
this bastard's tricks. Wrong bastard!
No! That's gonna be a really weird.
Rudolph Truche!
Rudolph Truche!
Don't tell me you're jumping into this without a plan.
I don't even know how you'll. Oh wait, I don't even know how you'll make your first move. So I've got no plans or anything. Go ahead and move first.
So,
Naturally, I'll do so. How shall I break down your defenses? How many moves will it take to checkmate you?
if Batman
This
is the
is
white
where you'll
king,
see me at my finest.
does that mean Beatrice is the black king?
No.
Kind
Who's the
of.
black?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, at this point in the story, fine. We'll get to that later.
What does that mean?
You can think of Beatrice as the Black King.
For now. No matter
Still
what,
your line, Miguel.
I know. I was just interrupted by my conversation with the two of you. Why did I roll my R's? Damn it! I really am a Mexican. No matter what moves you come at me with, I won't believe in you. As long as I stand my ground on that point, I won't lose. This game's built in a way that makes it impossible for you to win.
Perhaps you're right. However, I'm the one who decides how many times we'll this game. We'll repeat it over and over again until I win and you acknowledge your defeat, see? In other words, this is torture. An eternal torture that shall continue until you surrender to me.
Still, it's one of the sexiest torture.
It shall go on endlessly until you acknowledge me and the existence of witches.
So it's basically the final battle of Doctor Strange.
Calvin, stop tapping.
What?
Yeah, you hear it too? Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who hears it.
What?
Or is it David? David, can you type a word that requires both of your hands on the keyboard? Because it's one of those two.
I'm typing.
I'm not doing anything.
You hear that right now? You just heard that, right, Rhea?
Hear what?
Calvin is doing something.
I'm not doing anything.
I can hear it, Calvin.
We can both hear it, Calvin.
Well, I don't know what you're hearing because I'm not doing anything.
We're hearing.
I don't hear it either.
No, we're hearing.
Calvin, stop.
Yeah, seriously, Calvin.
That's not me. That's one of you two. If you're
No,
talking about that
it's-
pattering noise,
No, it's you, Calvin. Okay.
It's you, Calvin.
I understand you like bad street shit, but come on, that's David. That's David. But there's a time and place for everything. It's called college.
Calvin,
Play your
stop.
game endlessly, as many times
yes.
until you run out of patience.
Knock it off.
That's real. That one she just.
I know.
But the first time it really was you, Calvin.
I wasn't doing anything.
Acknowledge it. We'll make you acknowledge it. No matter how many times you repeat this conversation, you will acknowledge it, Calvin.
Are we doing our own version of
Are you going to
this
play
fight?
this game endlessly?
Of course. I'm gonna type
I've never lost in a test of stubbornness.
I'm gonna write something really messed up in the direct messages.
Did a certain witch plant that idea in your head? Very well.
I'm tired of listening to you ramble. Come on, get this started.
Then let us begin. I already know all your moves. A defense doesn't amount to much if the plan behind it is known. Don't think you'll be able to define me with the same moves.
Beatrice, I've got just one thing to say before we start.
What is it?
I was gonna improvise and just say F you, but nah. Go ahead and say whatever you want. However, whether I believe you is something I'll decide for myself. Just put the entire text on the screen. Don't click spacebar every time. No matter how impressive this magic of yours is, my soul won't yield to you. You think this is torture for me? You're wrong.
Then what else could it be?
This is torture for you. Okay, David, come on. Someday
What?
you'll surrender to me and give up. Until then, you'll be
Knock it
tortured
off.
over and over again. That's David, by the way. That's
No,
even
it's
real.
not. I'm not doing anything.
Okay, David, lower your speakers. I believe that it's picking up someone else's
I
sound.
don't know how.
I'm still here. You turn off all the lights. Okay, Calvin. As soon as you acknowledge it, we'll let you leave the game.
Pardon? No, I'm not. There's nothing. Okay, right this second, I know that my neighbor just turned their speaker back on, so I know that's coming over the speaker right now.
Wait, that's your neighbor doing that? How close is your house to him?
We're close.
Okay, we're still gonna make
I
it.
said, my neighbor just now turned the speaker back on, so you'll be hearing that noise.
Until then, you'll be tortured over and over again.
How amusing! What an entertaining metaphor! Torture where we torment each other. Yes, truly amusing. Come, shall we begin that torture? Ushiromiya Battler!
That is not how she said that in the.
Yes, it is.
Did you watch the anime? That is not at all how she said it.
Then the anime does it wrong.
It's the same actors.
So
I know the way
someone-
Beatrice says that word, that name.
Could someone please
Actually, she
explain
says
to
it
me
a bunch of different ways.
She says
The way I said
Battler.
it just now,
Time out. David is asking a
Okay,
serious
the
question.
current time is 10:45 in the morning.
Could
Yeah,
someone
who-
please explain to me?
No,
Someone
Leo,
please tell me what the
Leo,
heck is going on?
At this point, just purchase Calvin a marital aid. It'll fix everyone's problems.
Every year, the relatives visiting Rockinjima would let out a sigh of admiration at the rose garden that first greeted them. They would stop there to chat about the rose's beauty and how well they were blooming that year. In the midst of all this, there was a single objection at its condition. But George used his quick wits, and, saying that everything would be fine if they took care of this poor thing, marked it with candy wrapper and immediately restored Maria's good mood. Then Battler, with whom she'd been getting along well since that morning, started talking about Halloween. This was such a favorite topic of Maria's that she began playing around energetically again. To Maria, that marshmallow jack-o'-lantern candy bought by her mother was probably the greatest sort of treasure. They seemed to have bought several, and she demanded a trick-or-treat from every person she met, giving them candy instead of the other way around.
I wonder why Maria likes Halloween so much. I always figured it was a pretty unfamiliar event for the Japanese. Isn't he Japanese?
Well, it's a gift festival where they got the parade around a costume thing.
That would be the equivalent of me
We
saying
want to
the
play
most-
around in outfit with different.
Okay, man, you sound like that kid from Ghost Stories.
Sorry. Oh. I think there's a slightly deeper cause behind it. After all, she's the witch of Maria-chan.
Come to think of it, when we were at the airport, didn't Maria say that if she was gonna wear a costume, it'd be a witch? Does she like witches? Let's hope she never visits Salem.
Yes, she loves them so much that it becomes a problem.
Hey, that's not bad. Expect kids at that age to go to love fantastical stuff like that.
If it was just a heroine.
No, that's correct. That's the correct saying.
Oh, okay. On some TV anime, at least it'd be cute.
Judging by Rose's appearance, she wasn't very happy about her daughter's love for witches as a mother. The cousins other than Battler seemed to realize, and they shrugged, wearing stiff smiles.
I think it's still cute.
So do I. So you're arguing that because she likes witches, she also likes Halloween. If we don't know, why don't we just ask her? Finally, some common sense. Hey, Maria, how are Halloween and witches related?
As Battler asked that, George and Jessica let out a stifled "Ah!" as if they were trying to stop him, but too late. Maria might have been waiting for just that question. After beaming for an instant, her expression turned a little mean, as if to say, "You're totally clueless, aren't you?" It was the face of a hobbyist who has been ticked off by an outsider saying something stupid about their favorite subject.
To the Celts.
Celts.
Oh, it's Celts.
No, Celts.
No, it's Celts.
No, Celts, like Celtic.
No, it's Celts. Thank you very much, but I am very familiar with this word. It is very much Celts.
Fine, let's go with Celts then. I'm not gonna argue with you over something stupid.
I happen to have
The
spent a
changing
lot of
strength
my
of the
life
sun over the course of a year signified its birth, its growing up period, its aging and death, and then its revival.
Yeah, that is strangely cute to listen to. I get it. In spring, the weak, warm sun starts to grow up and get hot. What? And then it gradually gets weaker and worn out. Sort of makes sense to think of it as the sun living out an entire life. Excuse me, where did you go to school, Battler?
Yes. Yes. So we thought that at the end of October, the sun died, was laid to rest in the land of the dead, and was then revived at the winter solstice. And the name they gave the last day of their year, when the sun ended its 1-year lifespan and died, was Samhain, and they celebrated then.
Talking about space.
That comes back.
It's an interesting idea. It seems the sun will be revived once the dead water solstice. The daylight always has to grow again. It's the case that makes it clear how much the ancients regarded the sun as sacred.
See. So what does that have to do with witches?
It seems that my casual urging forward had slightly infuriated Maria.
Infuriated.
Oh, wait, that's Battler. That's Battler.
Yes!
Battler, you're narrating again.
It seems that my casual urging forward had slightly infuriated Maria. She glared at me with eyes that told me to shut up while she explained.
I was wondering when Battler would start narrating again. Took him long enough.
Maria seemed to be having a blast as she talked, so I decided not to interrupt. Look at that face. How could you ever have heard it? Oh, it's a very slappable.
In the interval between October and November, life and death become the closest they ever will. The Celts believe that during this time...
It's Celts.
Shut up, I don't care! The world of the living...
I do! I'm a Celtic fiddle player.
Well, shut up! It's the wrong series.
Shut up. The world of the living grew closer to the world of the dead and other worldly beings. And many of those living in the other worlds would come to visit. It was like the Bond Festival in Japan.
At the time, people believed that souls returning to the physical world would go into people's houses, or possess people, and do bad things. So, in order to avoid harm, they performed rituals. One of those was to imitate creepy monsters and scare the souls back, which was apparently a way to avoid being possessed. Oh wait, those are still Battler signs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was
Sorry.
so confused.
I've just gotten so used to narrating tonight.
So, in order to avoid harm, they performed rituals. One of those was to imitate creepy monsters and scare the souls back, which was apparently a way to avoid being possessed, which is actually historically accurate.
Yes, this game has a lot of historical accuracy.
That part became a festival, which turned into a costume parade. Wait, no. Hold on, don't you, Maria?
Ain't it the truth? Even I never knew Halloween had such a history.
But where did the whole trick-or-treat thing come from?
Her knowledge is so extensive that the adults had started listening in too. Maria, who was normally treated like the youngest of the time, puffed out her chest with pride. That line that kind of phrasing reads so much better in Japanese. Saying that this was just a kids' discussion, Rosa suggested that the adults go on ahead and set their luggage down at the house. But nobody else agreed to go with her, so she let out a heavy sigh. Calvin, you monster.
I'm not doing. Oh, shush.
Sorry. I'm trying to fix my voice. It sucks.
What?
Trick-or-treat is just for fun. It has nothing to do with what was originally a Celtic ceremony. Shut the fuck up!
I refuse.
Oh my God.
I refuse.
You guys stop.
I will fucking castrate you.
I refuse.
You know, if you're gonna say that, at least try to sound like you're not being serious.
I'm gonna castrate you.
No,
I refuse.
I'm just imagining
Celtic.
I'm just imagining Brielle keeps Calvin in a cage or something, and she turns on the light every morning and just goes, "Hi, it's your day.
Hi, puppy."
Time."
Not wrong.
That's exactly what I'm imagining right now.
I have a very long connection to Celtic music.
Shut up.
It basically
Don't
stretches back to
care.
when I was 3.
Ladies
Bro,
and gentlemen,
you
for the
just
first time
listen
ever,
to
I
it.
have fully diamond.
No, I play it.
legitimately.
I have played in a Celtic